So I started off with this Aerogarden here. I had planted a few kinds of lettuce and kale. This is the original lettuce. These over here are some newer ones I've started, as the old ones soon will stop producing. We've got scarlet kale that generally I just sort of take a leaf or two off of there as soon as they're available. So I've used the Aerogardens to start a lot of things as well, and then potted them up in the hopes that I'll be able to transplant them into my garden outside once the chance of frost has passed, hopefully within the next few weeks. So in here though, I've got a very fruitful Thai basil. That's going well. I think this is my second green dwarf kale that I had started. The other one is potted up, though looking a little leggy. I think that might be a peppermint. And then in the very back here, Genovese basil, which is my preference. And I harvest leaves off here every few days and add them to a freezer bag. I like to use them a lot in the soups. This next Aerogarden, I have a tomato plant and also a pea plant at the very back, which is starting to grow into a vine. I've got another tomato, and then of course my dill. The dill has been thriving quite a bit, and I try to prune it so it won't grow much taller than the Aerogarden goes. And I've gotten quite a few bags of fresh dill already as well. So I prune it shorter, and then it starts to come up from the bottom here, as you can see. So I'm hoping eventually it'll help it to keep growing out sideways more than upward, but it's been great. Up here I've got a sweet pea plant growing and 2 tomatoes. I believe these may be the 2 tomatoes I started from seeds in tomatoes that I purchased at the store. So waiting to see what's gonna maybe happen with those. And up here is where I've transplanted the shortest and smallest items, which are still just starting to grow. This is probably the second or third time that I've started smaller items. So today I'm going to pot up some more plants, the indigo rose tomato and another Aerogarden heirloom tomato for outdoors. So now I've given them a generous watering and put them into the kitchen, and I set them in between 2 other Aerogardens here where they get lots of light, and let them get used to the change with the soil, and then we'll move them over to where the light source might be a hair different in my little tent I've made up. So this down here was very bountiful, couple heads of lettuce, but I finally chopped the ends off of them yesterday as they were getting a little leggy in here. We'll see if they get some new growth or not, but they're really anxious to get outside, all these plants. So I've got quite a few tomatoes. I've moved them all into this clothing rack actually, and just added some lights to keep them away from my pets. But so far, surviving since moving out of the Aerogarden are an eggplant. It's a yellow pear-shaped tomato. I've got a small tiny Tim tomato, yellow wax bean here, another pea, Aerogarden heirloom tomato. This poor fella here is a jalapeno. This is the parsley, started in the Aerogarden. My green dwarf kale is going along here, but getting much too leggy. I'm hoping to get these outside in the next day or so to start hardening them off. This I think might be another yellow pear-shaped tomato. Here is an indigo rose or tomato. It comes out a very dark color. I thought that would be cool. And this one in the back, I'm not positive. And then we've got another basil plant as well. So I would say these items are definitely too crowded in here and they need better lighting. But I did just work with what I had handy as I'm on a limited budget at the moment. And yeah, so we'll see how those go. And yeah, I'll be starting to take those outside in the next few days. So I have used this Jiffy starter set to start some flower seeds. Come with 72 little peat pods and a plastic tray with a clear dome lid. It helps to create humidity and encourage sprouting. So I have planted the following: 12 astilbe, I believe 18 lupin, 12 delphinium, 12 candy tuft, 6 columbine, and 12 Shasta daisy. So I've placed the seeds in the pods. Everything's been watered. Now I'm going to leave this plastic lid on until we start to see some activity, and then we'll move to the next steps. These are some of the flowers I had started in the Jiffy pots April the 10th. Today actually is May the 10th, so a month later, here we are. They're coming along. Also would do better in more light to be a little less leggy. But again, we're working with what we have and just crossing our fingers. Delphiniums here, I believe they're a perennial. Hopefully we have some survive. And we've got the columbine and candy tuft, which I'm hoping also will make it through here. And things will hopefully look up soon. It's certainly interesting to me how much faster things grow in the hydroponic solution in the Aerogarden units here as compared to in the soil. All the ones in the soil, well, of course they aren't ideal lighting conditions in there. I've used a very good potting soil, and just amazing though, the growth rate on the hydroponic items grown in the water and nutrient solution that comes with an Aerogarden, or there are many others you can purchase as well. You know, the vegetables, they just look so green and healthy. And so far, everything has tasted very good. So if you're thinking of an Aerogarden for a home gardening solution, or even just in the winter time, if you live in a very cold climate like I do, I really think it would be worth it. Even if something gives you trouble, because not every item thrives, you know, as well as others sometimes. There is definitely some, you know, learning as you go to this hobby, but very happy so far. I mean, all of that basil right there, which isn't my favorite flavor, to be honest. I prefer the Genovese basil, but there's a lot there. I'm going to harvest and freeze it or dry it, and then I'll just plant something that I like more. I do plan to use some of this Aerogarden space to get more lettuce and kale and greens going, because I've been really enjoying harvesting that. For the last week, I was able to take small salads for my lunch to work every day, simply by using most ingredients here from my Aerogarden. I just added a hard-boiled egg or a little bit of chicken, and I was ready to go, and the taste was amazing. Not like store-bought vegetables at all. Very fresh. You know, actually encouraging me to eat more vegetables than normally I would. So that is the gist of the Aerogarden so far. Thank you very much for checking out our video. And yeah, if you have any comments or questions about Aerogardens, be very happy to hear about them and share your experiences with me as well. So thanks again for watching. If you're interested in my videos, please subscribe below and help my channel grow. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next video. Take care.